back. We are here with Nigel, and we are at the So You Think You Can Dance New York City auditions. We've got a couple questions today. So what traits do you look for in dancers?
I think because it's a competition, performance. I mean, obviously they need technique, and they wouldn't be here if they didn't basically have a good technique. But after that, it's that connection with us. And we say to so many of them, you know, don't look at the floor, don't just look off into space, connect with us or connect with that camera. That's what they've got to do. Especially, you know, you're asking people to pick up a telephone and vote for you. You have to connect with them.
Got it. That's good. Good tip. So every time auditions roll around, is it kind of like a homecoming every year, a fun, familiar feeling?
It's a grateful feeling, number one, that we're still on the air after 15 seasons.
Yeah.
It's exciting, to be honest with you, because you never know what you're going to see from year to year. And you think you've seen it all, and then somebody just comes out of the blue, like Lex Ishimoto, and you know, there you get a triple tour, and you go, oh, that's not humanly possible, unless you're on the ice, you know, but that boy could do it from a standing start.
That's true. So what would you say your favorite part about judging is?
Finding the talent and putting it in front of the American public, watching how the standard has grown across all of the seasons. And 2 nights ago I went to see Carousel on Broadway, and there's Jess Leproto and Ricky Ubeda, and it just makes me feel so proud that there they are on the Broadway stage.
Yeah, amazing. So what do you think is the best part of auditions, just in general?
Sitting down on my backside while everybody else is jumping and leaping around. I'm very vampiric in that way, that I suck in their talent. And then, as I said, finding the next generation of dancers and watching them grow.
And so for the next generation of dancers, do you have, what is your number one piece of advice if they're coming to a So You Think You Can Dance?
If they're coming into the competition, they have got to perform. It isn't just a question of great technique. You almost want to forget that you've got great technique in order to perform. You know, if you know your routine inside and out, like an actor knows their words, you're not thinking about what the next word is. It's just happening. The same with your body. Your body has got, you know, muscle memory. So you shouldn't be using the brain at that point. Your body should do it, and your brain should be feeling the emotions. And because, you know, the greatest thing about this, and with the choreographers as well, is that they can tell an entire story with movement without saying a word. And if you remember those great routines, Thais Diorio's breast cancer routine, Mia Michael's addiction routine, it said so much without uttering one single word. So the dancers have got to be able to do that on top of their technique. It's tough. Yeah. I could never do it. Yes, it takes a lifetime within a week.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Amazing. Well, thank you so much.
Thank you so much, and thank you for coming to us today.
Thanks. Okay, we are back, and we are here with Twitch at the So You Think You Can Dance auditions. So yeah, let's just dive right into it.
Do it.
How do you approach judging? What are the traits you're looking for?
Well, I mean, it's a really interesting thing because like I've been through the competition, so it's like judging is a really nerve-wracking thing for me, to be quite honest. So for me, the way that I approach it is I base everything in optimism and constructive criticism. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Because no matter how good or bad sometimes like the dancers may seem, there's still something to take away. And I'm just a firm believer in not like stomping on people's dreams. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Which I think sometimes in TV's kind of the way that it's cut together, it may seem like judges are like that, but I never want to come across with that. And even if somebody walks off the stage, not moving on to the next round, after they get out of their feelings, I hope that they can reflect on some of the things that we've said as judges and kind of take away the constructive criticism from it. So for me, I'm always looking for ways to build no matter what. You know,
well, because that's like such a great thing that you get out of this show anyway. Even if you
Absolutely.
don't make it,
Of course,
you have an
of course.
exposure.
Absolutely, and then also with like dancers and just artists in general, you know, like auditions, rejection. Honestly, rejection is like part of our DNA of success. You know what I'm saying? Like you just gotta ramp up the way that you take no's and like, no, not this time, or no, not right for this part. You just got like, you know, just reprogram and condition the way that we take no's. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
It's a big part of it. Yeah.
Cool. So What part do you enjoy the most about auditions?
I really enjoy providing like motivation, but then B, I really like the song choices. I dance a lot at the table, you know what I mean? Because it's
I hope that's gonna make it in.
Yeah. Like if you picked a great song, I will let you know, like from the show. But then also, man, just playing a part in a huge chapter of people's lives, you know, like, you know, especially those that go on to the show and things like that. You know, one time when I judged, do you remember Fiction? Mm-hmm. Fiction season, I was a judge. Cyrus's season, I was like a judge for the hip hop round. Yeah. You know, so it's just like, you know, you mention names like Fiction and Cyrus and you know, those that have gone on to do incredible things. What's his name? Ricky Ubeda.
Yeah, he's in
Ricky Ubeda. Yeah, Ricky Ubeda. I was judged for Ricky Ubeda's season. So
Nigel was just saying he saw him last week, and it was like
it's unbelievable. Yeah, absolutely. Because it's just like, you know, you help kind of provide a platform, you know, for them to jump off of. So
that's
cool.
Awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So every year when auditions roll around, is it like a very fun, familiar feeling, like a homecoming kind of?
Absolutely.
Going back to school.
Of course, yeah. Every year when auditions come around, it's just like, you know, it is, but it's like time to go back home. And I'm sure for Nigel it kind of feels like a huge like Thanksgiving / Christmas thing that goes on, right? Because we all come together, and you know, even if you know we don't have a lot of the alumni on the judges panel, especially the LA auditions, you'll get so many alumni in the seats just kind of sitting and watching, scoping out the situation, making sure that the legacy is still standing up, you know what I mean? But yeah, it is. It's a really great feeling. And also, man, I mean, listen, 15 seasons of a television show, that's a long time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's a really long time. And a television show that has helped propel dance to be a main character in front of the camera as opposed to just being part of the environment. You know what I mean? Like you have like Justin Timberlake and his dancers, or like Janet Jackson and her dancers, or whatever. You know, whereas So You Think is just like, nope, it's just y'all. You know what I mean? And when the So You Think tour goes out, it's just the dancers, you know what I mean? It's the dancers.
Which is great.
It's
like mainstream America is really getting
absolutely
of like full actual look.
100%.
Yeah, which is great.
Yeah.
So I guess our final question is, what is your best piece of advice for someone hoping to audition for the show?
Well, a couple of things. One is get your training up, and in various fashions, not just in styles of dance, which is very, very important, but also train yourself to perform exquisite as a soloist. Like, train yourself to, right? It's one thing to be able to like rock your competition routines, your recital routines, and everybody's around you, and you might even have like a solo moment in there, but it's another thing to be like, yo, I'm only representing myself right now, so I need to be able to look the judges in the eye, like, or, you know, I need to be able to bring them in and be comfortable in my space, whether somebody's clapping or not. That also, like I said, the styles. You know, by this point, you know all of the styles that are included into the seasons. You know, ballroom and contemporary for all of my street heads out there that are you know, you got to really work on picking up choreography. And the most important thing is learn how to speak clearly and you know, talk about your experiences in a way that is unique to you, and it also tells us a story, as opposed to just like, so how long have you been dancing? 16 years. Do you know what I mean? It's just like, oh, okay. Yeah. How'd you get into it? Well, my mom put me in when she was 3. Okay, you know what I mean? Like, so you got to remember, especially if you're a fan of the show, you got to remember when you watch it, like the ones that you're drawn to, like you laugh at the things they say. You know what I mean?
People are voting at the end of the day.
Absolutely, yeah, and you love like championing people, like you want to hear about their background and all that stuff. So just being able to talk at lengths about, you know, your experiences and stuff like that in a somewhat entertaining way, in a captivating way. I'm not saying you gotta like tell mad jokes, but at least just like be able to talk clearly speak clearly. You know, it's a huge part of it. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you. That was so quick.
Hi, we are back. We're with Vanessa Hudgens. We're at the So You Think You Can Dance auditions in New York. Okay, so when you're judging, what are the traits you look for in dancers?
I look for dancers who are passionate. I want to see someone who you can tell they really love dance and they're expressing it through every square inch of their body.
Yeah.
So like just that fire in their eyes. Also commitment to what they do, technique, and someone who has that wow factor.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so now that you're back for your second season, is it kind of like a fun homecoming when you came back this year for auditions?
Yeah, it's so much fun. It's interesting because last year was my first time, so I was like very nervous because it's something new and I hadn't done it before. But this time I feel like I'm settling into it a little bit better. It doesn't feel as foreign.
Yeah, got it. So what would you say your favorite part about judging is now that you've got a season under your belt?
I think my favorite part about judging is just like seeing so much amazing talent.
Yeah.
I love dance, and just being surrounded by people who are passionate about something is always such an enlightening thing.
Totally. So what is your best advice for people hoping to audition for the show?
Stick to what you know. Don't try to venture into the unknown for the audition because that may seem exciting and spontaneous. It's probably not going to work out. Connect with the audience and the judges. Perform and commit to everything and accentuate everything.
Perfect. Well, thank you. So You Think You Can Dance auditions with Mary Murphy, Hot Tamale Train. And we've got our questions for you. Okay, so when you're judging, what are you looking for in a dancer?
Well, first of all, you know, you're looking for someone that has a true passion and someone that can give an honest performance. It sounds so simple, but it actually isn't.
Yeah.
Because all of a sudden your nerves get a hold of you, you get up there on that stage, and then you start thinking maybe everything about technique. And I've got to land this, and I've got to do this perfect, and if I do this perfect, this will help me get through. But they have to connect that passion, being authentic, and show us who they really are, because there's a million people that have great technique, to be honest with you. And that's the only way they're going to break through, for me anyways.
Yeah, and that takes time, right? Like,
It does
that's
take
why
time.
people come back every year to audition.
It is very rare, but we've seen it at 18 years old. We've seen somebody that is so mature in their dancing. They have the whole package. They're very authentic, you know, they're very honest with their performance, and they just blow me away. I see even kids younger than that can do that, but it is rare. But it can be learned, you know, so some people, it takes them a few years, and you say, come back, you know, and they do, and they work on it, and they come back, and they blow us away.
It's all about that constructive criticism.
Yeah.
For sure.
It's not easy to take,
No.
let me tell you.
So every year when auditions come around, it's kind of like a homecoming because you guys have been on the air for 15 seasons now.
Yeah, I mean, it's still, you know, you can just pinch me, you know, that every year, believe it or not, just even getting in the car from my house, heading for the airport, there's just this excitement in my life. And I see a lot of amazing dancers all year. There's something very special about So You Think You Can Dance.
Yeah,
So,
I agree.
to be able to see the heart that it takes to take someone that in one style and make them grow throughout the season is unlike any other show on television.
Yeah, absolutely. So what is your favorite part about judging?
My very favorite part is so easy, and that is the fact that I think in my whole dance career there might be just, you know, one time that I walked off the floor and said, wow, I couldn't have done anything wrong. I don't know, I was in this zone, I was in this flow experience. Everything was one with the universe, and you feel like, wow, you know, you tap yourself on the back and go, that was pretty good. On So You Think You Can Dance, I get to see people have that moment right in front of me. They may never have that moment again in their career. The fact that I get to sit there, get paid for it, it's crazy, to see people have that, because I know how rare that is.
Yeah.
We're always the most self-critical people on the planet, and every little nuance, it could be, we could do most of a performance, like 99% of it, amazing, but the one thing you walk away at the end of that night after that performance is that one thing that you did wrong, or you could have done it better, you know you could have done it better, and you just couldn't do it. It drives you nuts. And a great dancer will also obsess about that for the next day or two, and then you get on with it and you work it out and you forgive yourself and move forward. You have to, otherwise you're just, you're just going to die as a dancer if you can't forgive yourself. But for at least 24 hours or 48 hours, it's playing like a tape over and over again in your brain. But yeah.
Well, so what is your best piece of advice for someone hoping to audition?
Well, my best to audition for this show, I feel like you need to come into the show and be magnificent at one style. That'll help get you through. Even if we don't think maybe you can do the other styles, but if you're amazing at one style, good. Also come with at least a 2 or 3 that you have knowledge of pretty well. You can't, some people, if they're brilliant, it's very rare that you're brilliant at all of them, but if you have a good working knowledge, there's a lot of studios in Utah where they teach everything. And that's worked very well for people that are on the show, because they have ballroom, they do ballroom in Utah. It's one of the few states that everybody there, and even in the universities, they all take ballroom dancing. But at least have the working knowledge of something that doesn't fall, like let's say you're contemporary. Okay, most contemporary schools teach jazz, teach tap, so you got a couple other tools in the toolkit. Take something more unusual then, and even hip hop. A lot of ballet schools now and contemporary schools, at least, they offer hip hop. But do some other type of dancing. Pick a waltz or a foxtrot. Do something outside of your wheelhouse so that you have that little extra gift that you can kind of spring out. Well, I could do a little, cha-cha. And then we'll be blown away. Oh my God, they're hip hop! But did you see their samba? Yeah. Did you see that pirouette? It gets us fired up. I'm not gonna lie.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much.
You're welcome.